are peaceful. We are the Brotherhood of Steel.
Beneath the Commonwealth, there is a cancer, known as the Institute. A malignant growth that needs to be cut before it infects the surface. They are experimenting with dangerous technologies that could prove to be the world's undoing for the second time in recent history. The Institute scientists have created a weapon that transcends the destructive nature of the atom bomb. They call their creation the synth. A robotic abomination of technology that is free-thinking and masquerades as a human being. This notion that a machine could be granted free will is not only offensive, but horribly dangerous. And like the atom, if it isn't harnessed properly, it has the potential of rendering us extinct as a species. I am not prepared to allow the Institute to continue this line of experimentation.
The Institute giving machines free will? My programming says that's monstrous.
Therefore, the Institute and their synths are considered enemies of the Brotherhood of Steel, and should be dealt with swiftly and mercilessly. This campaign will be costly, and many lives will be lost. But in the end, we will be saving humankind from its worst enemy. Itself. Ad Victoriam!
Ad Victoriam!
Ad Victoriam!
Anyway, since you came down here to meet me, we may as well get it over with. My name's Ingram, and this lovely little grease pit is where you'll usually find me. If your power armor's too tight in the crotch, the Pridwin's about to crash into the ground, or a robot's gone haywire, you come see me. There isn't a day that goes by on this tub without 5 or 6 things breaking down. And since I'm stuck in this rig, I'm not quite as spry as I used to be. The work tends to pile up.
Mess is self-service, brother. You take what you need. If you fry up a hunk of cram with a little Nuka-Cola, it almost tastes like food.
Oh, God. Mole rat on a stick was a really bad idea. Excuse me.
You want to see the Brotherhood's greatest warship brought down by bugs?
All right, all right. Just don't tell Ingram, okay?
Fine. But there's a reason food's not allowed near the instrumentation.
Things are off to a good start.
The Pridwin is a magnificent ship, and we're lucky to have her in our arsenal.
But we've got a lot of work ahead of us first. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance. Now, the Pridwin might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in. So, I bet you're eager to get your hands dirty on our new project. How much has Maxon told you about it? Come on. It's this way. This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood used it in the Capital Wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave. It's the most advanced robot the Brotherhood has ever had at its disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded. Easy. Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets and some spot welding to get them working again. The first problem is his CPU. It's fragile, and every time we try to feed power to it, it blows itself out. I do all the maintenance on the Pridwin, so you'd think it'd be a snap. As much as I hate to admit it, Prime's power systems are out of my league. Luckily, it's Dr. Madison Lee returned to the Brotherhood. She was on the original build team for Liberty Prime a little over a decade ago. I've already spoken to her, but she's reluctant to work on Prime for some reason.
You neglected to mention that I'd be asked to work on Liberty Prime. I've been down this road with the Brotherhood before. Why would I make the same mistake twice?
If you could get her down here to lend a hand with his power system, we can get the big guy moving.
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it. Tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get Liberty Prime back online, but we'll get it done.
Wow, good start. Isn't that right, Doctor?
I hope so. Prime suffered some significant damage to his memory core. I wish your people would have been a bit more careful, Proctor. The good news is that the damage isn't irreversible, and I should be able to get the power flowing into his CPU core without overloading. If your people stay out of my way, that is.
Charming, isn't she? Dr. Lee's worth all the aggravation. We're working with one of Prime's original designers. I don't see it getting any better than that.
Now that Dr. Lee's arrived, I'm certain she'll be vital to the Brotherhood's success.
In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational, we're going to need your help.
Not now, sir. There's science to be done.
Don't worry about it. Came up with this little beauty myself.
This wasn't necessary, Ingram.
Couldn't agree with you more. In fact, since things are going so well, we're gonna have you start building his electromagnetic actuators.
Sure, anything you need.
That's what I love about you. You're ready to leap into action, and I bet you don't have the faintest idea what I'm talking about.
What do the actuators do?
Pretty simple, really. The actuators are what allows Liberty Prime's arms and legs to move. Prime's new limbs are way too heavy for the simple hydraulic pistons he had in the past. We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand new system using electromagnets, and install them in his limbs. What we need you to do is build the actuators for us.
Now that you know what the actuators are, you need to know how to make them. These are the plans and the materials list. Don't lose them.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials on that list right here. The only thing we need is a high-powered magnet. According to Proctor Quinlan, the best place to find one is in any of the ruined hospitals around the Commonwealth. We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnets you'll need.
You are the eyes and the ears of the Brotherhood. If you see or hear anything suspicious, it is your duty to report it immediately. We live in enemy territory now. Your vigilance could mean the difference between life and death. Understood?
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Good. Ad Victoriam, squires.
Ad Victoriam! Ad Victoriam!
Dismissed.
Once you start building the actuators, we need one for each limb, so you'll need to make a total of 4. Good luck. Ingram wants to see you right away. I think it's important.
That's all 4 actuators. Delivered and done. Nice work.
Right on schedule. I've completed the restoration of Prime's basic functions, and he's ready to go. In fact, it's getting difficult to explain to the system why it can't move right now.
Well, as soon as my scribes get those actuators in place, we'll have his arms and legs installed in no time. Which brings me to your next assignment. It won't be long before Prime can walk and talk, but he's missing one last important element. His nukes. Without them, his offensive systems aren't operating at peak capacity.
What's Prime armed with?
Prime has 2 weapon systems, his eye laser and his nuke pack. The eye laser can target a hostile from hundreds of yards out and take it down with pinpoint accuracy. His nukes are modified Mark 28 nuclear bombs. They used to drop the things from bombers during the war. Just one of the nukes is equivalent to about 3 or 4 Fat Man shells. Basically, whatever it hits isn't getting up again. His eye laser is almost ready to go, but without nukes to load into his pack, he's fighting at less than half his capability.
Shouldn't be a problem. Just tell me where they are.
I wish I could.
It's going to be impossible to find a stockpile big enough for him.
You might be right. The Commonwealth was a major staging area for the military's Air Force, so we assumed we wouldn't have trouble finding them. But since we arrived, our scouting teams haven't located a single bomb.
That's going to be a problem. Without a fully loaded nuke pack, Prime won't have the firepower to take on the Institute.
She's right.
Of course she's right.
Did we make a mistake asking her to help?
Nah, don't worry about it. We might not be best buddies, but we'll get the job done.
Maybe we can arm him with something else.
It'd take months, or even years, to install a new weapons system on Prime. We're having a tough time making all the parts we need to get him running as it is. But before you give up hope, there's actually a silver lining here. Proctor Quinlan has located some records regarding a military installation, which was used as a nuclear weapons storage facility. We're fairly certain this included a stockpile of the Mark 28s. The catch is that the installation is located somewhere within the glowing sea.
Oh no, not again.
Yep. You better stock back up on the anti-radiation gear.
What do you mean you're only fairly certain? Are they in there or not?
The glowing sea is so heavily irradiated, it's giving us echoed readings and false positives. We're just gonna have to trust the records on this one.
The influx of data is hard to process. Apologies if sometimes I make little sense. I will work on this.
Scribe Halen's established a communications point on the frontier of the glowing sea. I suggest you head out there first and establish a signal protocol with her so that the nukes can be airlifted out once you've located them. Hopefully, by the time you've returned, we'll be ready to wake Prime up and you can say hello.
Rearming Prime with nukes should get him back to full fighting potential.
It's good to see you again. You've come a long way since you stumbled into the Cambridge police station.
How've things been over there?
Pretty well, actually. We've had the occasional synth attack, but so far we've been able to keep them from overrunning us. Thanks to the reinforcements and the air support, I'd say that site was secure.
What about those feral ghouls? They still a problem?
With a vertibird at our disposal? Not a chance. Anyway, I know you don't have time for small talk, so I'll get right to it. I've had the men set up the equipment we'll need to pinpoint you once you've found the bombs. We've rigged up this distress pulsar to emit a unique tone that we'll be listening for. When you find the bombs, plant the pulsar, and we'll handle the rest. After that, you should probably head back to Proctor Ingram and bring her your report.
Why use this distress pulsar?
Unless you could locate an entire radio station within the glowing sea, there's no way you're going to be able to send out a regular signal. Luckily, the distress pulsar's ping cuts right through the interference, and we'll be able to hear you as long as we stay close to the frontier. Look, I know you've been through the glowing sea before, but remember to keep an eye on your Geiger counter. If you don't, the radiation will cook you from the inside out. Good luck, Knight.
May be of assistance. You have but to ask.
Your thoughts?
We must be very careful. The radiation levels are very bad.
Initiating decontamination sequence.
All right. I'm going to ask you a series of medical-related questions, and I'd like you to answer me to the best of your ability. First question. As a child, were you ever exposed to radiation for an extended period of time?
Decontamination complete.
What? Let me check my notes. Okay, second question. Have you ever had or come in contact with a person confirmed to be carrying a communicable disease? Third question, and please answer honestly. Have you ever had sexual relations with any species considered non-human? Anyway, sorry I missed that in your records. Just going down the list of questions. I'm sure you understand. Last question. Would you have any problems pulling the trigger on an enemy of the Brotherhood, whether they're human, formerly human, or machine?
If my life's in danger, I'll do whatever it takes to defend myself.
That's an acceptable answer, and the most common. Excellent. I think I've got all the information I need. I see no reason to prevent you from beginning your duties immediately. You're probably healthier than anyone else aboard. If you ever need medical assistance, you let me know.
As soon as those bombs arrive, I'll help Proctor Ingram get them loaded onto Liberty Prime.
Well, I have to admit, I wasn't sure we'd be able to pull it off.
Looks like Liberty Prime's coming along. Can't wait to see him smash the Institute.
Proctor.
Looks like the Mark 28s are gonna do the trick. That was a good find.
I'll work with your team to ensure that Prime's bombs remain stable after they're loaded into his pack. It won't be too much of a problem.
Well, Dr. Lee, I have to admit, we couldn't have done this without you.
It's a little early to begin celebrating, Proctor Ingram. We haven't fully thrown the switch on Liberty Prime, and I'm just hoping all the work I've done to keep his system stable are gonna hold.
I have full confidence in the abilities of everyone here.
I appreciate that.
Proctor, all the readouts look green. I think it's time for you to perform the power shunt.
Actually, I think I'm gonna let you press the button. After all, without your help, we'd still be staring at a pile of disassembled parts.
It would be better if a trained technician performed that task, but I suppose you deserve to be the one to do it.
Liberty Prime, back online.
All right, let's run a basic diagnostic on him.
Diagnostic command accepted.
Give him a moment. He needs to adjust to his new configuration.
Voice module online. Audio functionality test initialized. Designation: Liberty Prime Mark II. Mission: the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska. Primary targets: any and all red Chinese invaders.
Now let me run a system analysis and a battle readiness check.
Liberty Prime, full system analysis. All systems nominal. Weapons hot. Warning: nuclear weapon payload depleted. Reload required. Warning: power core offline. Running on external power only. Core restart recommended. Ability to repel red Chinese invaders compromised.
What was that he said about his power core?
Prime's in top shape, but his nuclear engine needs to be restarted. Right now, we have him running off of the Pridwin's engines. Once I get that sorted out, we'll send him off to kick in the Institute's front door. But it never hurts to be prepared. Anyway, that's enough of that. You better hightail it up to the Pridwin. Elder Maxson said he needed to speak to you as soon as you were done here.
Am I being accused of something?
That remains to be seen. Proctor Quinlan completed the decryption of the data you retrieved from the Institute. A portion of his findings included a list of synths that went missing or escaped from their underground facility. After careful analysis of the information, we've discovered something unprecedented. Paladin Dance is a perfect match for one of the synths on that list.
Is Quinlan absolutely certain?
Proctor Quinlan validated the information numerous times. I can assure you, his results are accurate. The data you brought back included a record of each subject's DNA. We keep the same information on file for all of our soldiers. Paladin Dance's DNA is a perfect match for a synth they called M797. To make matters worse, he's gone AWOL. Disappeared without a trace. His sudden absence simply reinforces our conclusion.
After everything I've achieved, why would I jeopardize my position here?
Because you never expected this information to see the light of day. Now tell me the truth, before I have you thrown over the side of the Pridwin.
Has it ever occurred to you that Dance might not be aware of his own identity?
No, it did not. However, even if that were true, Dance still represents a clear and present danger to us all. I've decided to take you at your word. However, Dance is a synth. He represents everything we hate. A monstrosity of technology. Our mission in the Commonwealth is clear. The Institute and its creations need to be destroyed in order to preserve our future. Which leaves me facing the most difficult order I've ever given. But if we're to remain strong, we can't afford to make exceptions. Even when it means executing one of our own. Of course, Dance's execution creates a missing link in our chain of command. That traitor held quite an important position with us. I'm certain that you'll make a fine replacement. His quarters and all his possessions are now yours, including his personal suit of power armor. Congratulations. I trust you won't disappoint me. In any event, we still have the Institute to contend with, and a lot of work to do before we can begin our final assault. So don't disappoint me. You're dismissed.
Proctor Ingram is putting the final touches on Liberty Prime and requires your assistance. Congratulations on another successful mission.
We need to move on to more important things now. Like getting Liberty Prime off of life support. We've been feeding him power through the Pridwin's engines, but there isn't nearly enough juice to cold start his fusion reactor. That's why we need you to find us a beryllium agitator.
How can the beryllium agitator start up his reactor?
If Prime's reactor is a campfire, the beryllium agitator is like a match. Strike it, throw it on the logs, and the whole thing ignites. Fusion reactors need a massive power surge in order to get the reaction started. Once it starts, it's self-sustaining. I'm sure I could get one of my scribes to bore you to death with the details, but you get the gist.
Turning out to be quite a grocery list to get that hunk of junk running.
Hey, I was handed a crate full of burned-out spare parts with no blueprints, and I still managed to get the big guy put back together. If we find this last piece, I promise you he'll be combat-ready in a matter of hours. Quinlan dug up some dirt on a company called Mass Fusion. They were a power utility company before the world went belly up. The CEO was some kind of an inventor. Dreamed up all sorts of nuclear power toys. The agitator was his crown jewel. Records show he was working on it in his lab at the top of their high-rise in the financial district. That's where we're headed. Hope you don't mind a little company, because I'm coming with you.
Is she coming with us? Oh, there is so much science we could talk about.
It would be helpful if you tagged along.
I knew you'd see it my way. Kells has a vertibird on standby, waiting to drop us off on the roof of the Mass Fusion Tower. Grab whatever gear you need and meet me on the flight deck. But don't take too long. If the Institute finds out the agitator's there, they'll do everything they can to keep it out of our hands.
Roger that, Scabbard. We have clearance for release. You might want to hang on, sir. The drop can be a little rough.
Never could get used to flying in these things.
Hostile target sighted on the roof, sir. Prepare to engage. Damn fists, they're crawling all over the place. Spin them out before we drop. I'll get us above the roof so you can bail out.
Amazing that this tower is still standing. Hope it stays that way while we're here. There it is. Mass Fusion's reactor. Don't make them like that anymore. This place has seen better days, that's for sure. We've been years looking at the tech in this place, but we've still got work to do. We can't allow the Institute to get a hold of the agitator. I can't wait to see Prime in action. Let's hurry and get the agitator out of here. Looks pretty dangerous in there. You have enough radiation protection on you?
Nope. Do you?
How long have you been wandering the Commonwealth again?
I was just gonna hold my breath.
Cute. Real cute. I'm talking about the usual. Rad-X, Radaway, a radiation suit, things like that. You go in there without any of that stuff, and you'll be glowing like a Christmas tree in a matter of seconds. Now, do you have any or not?
I've got it covered.
Well, take these extra doses of Rad-X anyway. Can't hurt. You know, this was a nuclear research facility. If you look around, I'm sure you can find something that'll do the trick. Where the heck are you going? I'm not finished talking to you yet. Glad to see you're still in one piece.
You mean you're glad to see the beryllium agitator in one piece?
Let's just say I'm glad both of you are in one piece and call it even, okay? Anyway, we shouldn't stand around here talking. We've got a lot of work to do. Well, this is it. The moment of truth.
This is gonna be a short war if Prime can't move.
You aren't kidding. I've checked every wire and every bolt on the big guy. All we need to do is plug in the agitator, start Prime's reactor, and cross our fingers.
We don't need luck, Ingram. We've got you.
I didn't do it alone.
If this works, how long before Liberty Prime will be ready for battle?
The reaction should be almost instant. He'll be running under his own power in a matter of seconds. We've pre-programmed Liberty Prime's battle coordinates into his navigational processor. As soon as he's under his own power, he'll head straight for the Institute. Elder Maxon wants you to follow, and make sure he arrives at the CIT in one piece. Look, I discussed it with Elder Maxon, and we think you should be the one who has the honor of starting Liberty Prime. Just plug the beryllium agitator into his reactor port, then head back down here and press the transfer button. Without that agitator plugged in, the big guy's stuck in that gantry. Just head to the top of the gantry and place the agitator into Prime's reactor port. The entire Brotherhood is waiting for you to plug in the agitator. Get a move on.
Fusion core reinitialized. Liberty Prime, full system analysis. All systems nominal. Weapons hot. Mission: the destruction of any and all Chinese communists. Probability of Chinese victory: impossible.
Brotherhood, Ad Victoriam.
Proceeding to target coordinates. Minutes. Freedom is the sovereign right of every American. Democracy is non-negotiable. Diagnostic commencing. Mobility complete. Optic beam fully charged. is a lie. I am Liberty Prime. I am America. Anchorage will be liberated. Obstruction detected. Overland travel to target. Compromised. Probability of mission hindrance, 32%. Revised stratagem initiated. Aquatic transit protocol activated. Probability of mission hindrance, 0%. Democracy is truth. Communism is death. Anchorage will be liberated. Site recognized. Patriotism subroutines engaged. Honoring the fallen is the duty of every red-blooded American. Freedom is always worth fighting for. A form of positioning initialized. Location, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Birthplace of American freedom. Acknowledged. Objective reached. Scanning defenses. Scanning results. Negative. Warning. Subterranean and Chinese compound detected. Obstruction depth 5 meters. Composition sand, gravel, and communism. Tactical assessment. Reach compound to restore democracy. Warning. All personnel should move minimum safe distance. Embrace democracy, or you will be eradicated. Embrace democracy, or you will be eradicated.
Elder Maxon.
You've done an exemplary job here. Without your unwavering loyalty to our cause, this victory would never have been possible.
I didn't do this for the Brotherhood. I did this for myself.
The end result is the same. The Institute has been wiped clean from the face of our world. It's time we close this chapter on the Commonwealth and begin one anew.